We are joined with the man of mystery himself, Ted Rall. You doing okay today?
Good morning. How are you doing, Jamal?
I am doing well. Happy belated Thanksgiving.
Happy belated Thanksgiving to you too. Happy
Yeah,
pre-Christmas.
yeah, we're on our way, right? Are you going to be on for Christmas, or are you guys taking time off?
That's being discussed. I think we might end up doing some pre-tapes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ted Rall, political cartoonist, syndicated columnist. He is with the one, the only, the great Manila Chan. They come on Monday through Friday from at 10 a.m., meaning immediately after the show. He's also on Deprogram. That's with John Kiriakou. So definitely check him out. That one comes on at 9 o'clock or 9 a.m. Again, immediately after the show. No, I'm sorry. That's during my show. Bastard.
It's awkward. Yeah.
It's okay. It's not awkward at all. It's perfectly fine. But Deprogram with John Kiriakou and the one and only Manila Chan. So thank you for joining me, Ted.
Multitask. Have both screens open at the same time.
Oh, you're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I've been watching what has been taking place with the Hegseth stuff, and I've been fascinated by this. It blows my mind, if I'm being honest with you, because it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not in the U.S., so I'm not seeing U.S. media in its earnest, like in its fullest grotesque expression. But it seems like what they take issue with is not that they have been murdering people in boats. That seems okay. And it doesn't seem like they take issue with all of this military hardware in the Caribbean to try to overthrow Maduro. That seems okay. They seem to take issue with the double tap. It's like, hey, if you would have murdered everybody in the boat the first time around, that's fair game. But the fact that the people were hanging off the side of the boat, that's not fair game.
It's rude.
And, yeah, right. It's very bizarre, right? And then
it's
you have
very impolite. It's just not fair play, Jamal.
But none of it is fair play.
It's totally fair play when you're on a boat 1,000 or more miles away from a country you've never been to and don't speak the language and don't know anything about, to have a missile come cruising out of the sky and blow you up. That's totally okay. But if you are lucky enough to survive the inferno and you're floating there in the middle of the ocean waiting for the sharks to come and eat you, and then a second missile comes along and puts you out of your misery, that's rude. That's it's not sporting.
That's the issue. It's the second. It's the double tap, not the first tap. It's the double tap. Trump has murdered over 80 people in these boats. Mm-hmm. And what's wild about it, initially they were like, well, we didn't double tap it. That was their first argument. Then, what is it? Levitt, I believe. I may be mispronouncing her name. Caroline Levitt. Mm-hmm. She comes out and says, well, yeah, we did it. Of course we did. Okay, so the story is now changing. Then it was like, well, Hegseth gave the order to kill them all. And then it's like, well, Hegseth didn't say kill them all, but he said it had lethal strikes. Now, I don't know the difference between these two things. Kill them all and lethal strikes feel very similar to me, but okay, whatever. And then they tried to say, well, they were still a threat because they were trying to crawl back into the boat, whatever was left of the boat, the smoking husk of the boat that was split in half by their own determination.
A 40-foot boat, Jamal, right? So, you and I are both robust men. If you and I are in the water, I'm a great swimmer. I was a lifeguard. If we're both in the water and on the high seas, by the way, we're not like in a pool here. We're in the ocean. And like, let's just say our boat had survived. Do you think you and I can turn over a 40-foot vessel, the two of us?
I had a hard time.
Even if we're on six, even if our feet can touch the ground, which they can't. We can't.
I had a hard time crawling back into a jet ski, let alone flipping over a boat.
Yeah, if you've ever had a swamped canoe and tried to turn that fucker over, that's at most 10 feet long. Good luck, right? You can't really. It's like what their story is impossible. That we're getting back to naval shenanigans like the Nord Stream pipeline. It's like this is like we're talking about it defies all credulity.
Well, they tried to claim that the people were trying to turn back over the boat,
Mm-hmm.
and they watched them apparently for 41 minutes as they tried to do this. Now, initially, the story was, well, they may have had communication equipment, and so they remain a threat. So they're trying to argue that the guy hanging on the side of the boat for dear life was still a threat to the entirety, or like 30% of the U.S. military.
Because he can call narco terror 911. Dude,
Yeah,
like send the wolf. I've got to send Harvey Keitel. I'm in a serious situation here.
it's so insane. And they're saying this with a straight face, by the way, saying,
Right.
well, obviously Bradley gave the kill order because after 41 minutes of watching this guy in the water, effectively nearly drowning, that the military was still terrified.
These are dying men. They probably were injured. You have to assume.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I mean, the thing is, they would have died anyway. I got to say, so here's the thing. I don't believe that automatically changing stories indicate a lie. But in this case, I think it does. Because there's so many people. First of all, this incident is recorded. It's recorded on the camera from the drone. And it's recorded inside whatever control room they did this. And there were several witnesses. So it's documented. I mean, we keep documents the way the Nazis kept documents. I mean, we love our documents. So this isn't like a girl waking up from a fog after a drunken night out wondering if she's been date raped or not. There's no fog here. This is like something happened or it didn't. The very fact that we know it was 41, not 40, not 42 minutes is just a reflection of that fact. They're lying. They got caught. You and I both like Roman history. It's like, I think this turned out to just be viewed as not sporting, because there were incidents in Roman times when someone was sentenced to execution and the swordsman would try to decapitate the victim several times and it would fail. And basically it became practice. Like, they got 3 whacks at you, and if they didn't chop off your head, you were free to go. It happened to some Christian saint, where she went on to live decades after the attempted execution. It's just sort of the crowd's like, oh, come on, you had your shot. Or it's like, we hear about these stories about botched lethal injections in the U.S., and you hear how foul it is. Like, they keep looking for the vein. And of course, we're not questioning capital punishment in general. We're just questioning, like, come on, you tortured the guy unnecessarily. I mean, finally, the New York Times today has a piece that says, well, this double tap story, the second strike question is obscuring the question of whether any of the attacks were legal. And of course they're not. There's no justification that's been given whatsoever for any of this. I mean, it's like, it's hard to even, the lies flow so fast and thick in this administration that it's really hard to even know where to start. I mean, do you start with the fact that, like, the story is false? Okay, like, these people are sending drugs to the United States. No, they're not. They're sending drugs to Africa, and they're sending drugs to Trinidad. It's like, are we going to start with the fact that the drugs that they're sending are, is cocaine, not fentanyl? And fentanyl's the problem in the U.S. Are we going to start with the fact that we have no evidence whatsoever that any of these particular boats were involved in drug trafficking? Are we going to start with the fact that that even if these stories are all completely true and it's a giant fentanyl palooza headed to the coast of Texas, that, like, the way you handle that is you send the Coast Guard out to interdict them, and then you put them on trial, and if they're found guilty, they go to jail, because drug smuggling is not a capital offense in the United States. I mean, it's hard to know. And it's like, basically, this is all about putting pressure on the Maduro government. I don't know that Maduro really cares. The whole thing is just, it's so fucked up in so many ways. I mean, I think that's part of the genius of it. With Trump, you're always playing whack-a-mole if you're in the opposition. And with the feckless Democrats, they're not to mention, they're in no position to criticize Trump, right? I mean, their guy, Obama, invented the term squirter to make fun of people whose heads got blown off and were splurting blood during drone strikes. I mean, Obama loved his drone strikes. He watched them personally. Tuesday kill list, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like we're a bunch. I mean, what's happened is that our government is depraved. It is bloodthirsty. It has no sense of decency, and it's basically morally corrupting we, the people of the United States, by making us. I mean, our moral obligation here is to overthrow this government. I mean, any government that would do anything like this, but we can't or we won't, and so therefore we're complicit. We are good Germans. It's horrific.
Yeah, I think I've used the same term, good Germans. Or I don't think I've said good Germans, but I've used the same term in the way that the German government just kind of, or the German public watched what the Germans were doing.
Yeah.
And whether they thought they could overthrow it, whether they were okay with it.
At least they tried a few times.
Yeah, they did try a few times. Yeah. So this is Rubio. Now, Rubio is given his explanation of why we must overthrow Maduro, why Maduro must go, and why the United States must effectively murder.
By the way, Jamal, before you put this on, I have to say, can you imagine? I was thinking about this last night. Can you imagine? Let's say you and I were both like PR flags for the administration, which is what Rubio is, right? Imagine, so your job is they pay you pretty well. You get like $200,000 a year. Man, I know you and I could both use it. So they call you into a room and they're like, "All right, Jamal, we've decided to take out the government of Ecuador," and you're like, "Why? Are they threatening us?" No, but the president's made this decision. So go out there to the cameras, and this is the story we're telling you to say. Wouldn't you just have this like feeling like a rock in your stomach? Like, I have to go out there and be a fool and be a stooge and be like, and I have to go out and tell this nonsense that I know isn't true and is stupid. And it's not even a good lie. I'm lying. Everyone knows I'm lying. And I know that everyone knows I'm lying. I mean, it's embarrassing in a way, right?
Yeah. It's like, do I look fat in this dress?
Right.
No.
I don't
you look great in
that much. No, not that much. I do need it. I want it, but I don't need it that much. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it would eat me alive
to
do that.
It's not worth it. I'd rather blow my brains out, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's just it's like, where's your fucking dignity?
I don't think these people get to the positions that they're in because they have dignity. Dignity is expensive.
Yeah, well, that's
it's
true.
Expensive. Integrity is expensive.
Look at Ted Cruz fully on board, sitting behind the president. After what Trump said about his dad.
Yep.
It's like, your dad
called his wife ugly.
He
called his wife ugly.
And it's like, and your dad killed JFK.
Yep. Yeah. I thought it was his uncle, but maybe it was his dad. But
I think
it's like
his dad is Smoking Man from X-Files. Yeah.
He called his wife ugly. For some reason, I think that's worse.
No, that's not. That's like, remember in The Sopranos where one of the characters, Johnny Sack, has an overweight wife, and like he's gonna kill like a bunch of people over this. Like, you insulted my wife.
Yeah, man. I don't think these people get to the positions that they're in because they have integrity. I think it's the opposite. And Rubio, who is all on board for this. I mean, all the reporting is that this is Rubio's.
What a little worm.
Yeah, this is his baby. Hey, we need to go and murder a lot of Venezuelans. It's just outrageous. Speaking of that little worm, this is Rubio trying to come up with a slippery explanation of why they need to murder a lot of Venezuelans.
Mm.
The Venezuelan regime is a source of instability in the entire region. Over 8 million Venezuelans have flooded into neighboring countries as a result of the regime's activities within their own, including into the United States. They also happen to be the foothold of Iran. That's not spoken about enough. Iran, its IRGC, and even Hezbollah has a presence in South America, and one of their anchor presence, especially for the Iranians, is inside of Venezuela. So the Venezuelan regime is a source of instability.
So they're cocaine and fentanyl. They are, well, initially it was fentanyl, then it became cocaine.
Mhm.
They are a source of instability in the region. And Iran and Hezbollah,
And they're a
because
stooge of
Hezbollah,
Iran. That's
and they're
ripped
stooge
right
of
out of the
Iran.
Dick Cheney playbook of of
Yep.
of uh, of claiming that Iraq, which was a mortal enemy of Al Qaeda, was somehow aligned with them and was going to give them nuclear weapons. Yeah, I mean, not saying that Venezuela is a mortal enemy of Iran, but there is no evidence whatsoever that Iran has anything to do with Venezuela.
Well, there's no evidence of Hezbollah. I mean, what does Lebanon have to do with Venezuela?
Yeah, nothing. And like if it and by the way, Venezuela is a sovereign state and is allowed to have friendly, cozy trade and other relations with Iran if it wants to. But it's the source of instability is the one that makes me laugh the hardest. So, again, we talk about the rise of Hitler. So, Hitler created instability, and the Nazis created instability in the streets of German cities in the late 20s and early 30s. And then they said, well, we can fix it. We can bring law and order. Well, I'm sure that's true since you guys are causing all the instability.
Right.
And that was totally true that's true here. It's like any instability that is coming from Venezuela is similar to the instability that came out of Honduras after the United States overthrew its democratically elected president. I mean, The United States, kind of weekend cooed Hugo Chavez and has ever since been imposing, draconian economic sanctions. And the only reason that they're still standing is because they have oil to sell. Otherwise, they'd be fucked 6 ways till Sunday. They had some natural disasters to deal with, too, in terms of severe floods. But then, it's the U.S. is the cause of the instability. So we impose sanctions, and then the country's poor, which is the whole point, by the way, of sanctions, is to make people miserable, and theoretically they would overthrow their government. That never happens, but okay. And then, so they're fleeing as refugees, assuming that's even true, those numbers. Those seem wildly inflated to me. And then we blame the victim that we made. I mean, it's totally like the kid who kills his parents and complains that he's an orphan.
Yeah, it's like she had a short dress. What can I do, right? It's that nonsense.
Well,
Like,
also,
it's like,
you bought her the short dress and told her that you got horny looking at her as a slut, and then she went out. And then
yeah, there was a Beavis and Butthead episode. Was like, she's sexually harassing me. He was like, what? It's like, what? Yeah, it's that nonsense. It's insane. Like, and yet the media's issue is, yeah, but you double tapped. Like, that blows my mind.
Well,
and
it is like Al Capone and taxes, right? I mean, part of you has to be like, well, I'm happy that people are mad about something, right? Like, okay, so I mean, I guess there's like, it's not completely anything goes. There are limits, I guess. But you're right, Jamal, you're right. The whole thing from day one is completely illegitimate. And by the way, another thing I've been thinking about is, it's not hard for you or I or anybody watching here to imagine a United States not long from now that is a weak country and is not able to project or military power or maybe even able to effectively defend itself. And that day is going to come, and then we're going to be like, oh my God, oh, what happened to your brother? Oh, well, he's a fisherman off Montauk, and he was taken out by an Iranian drone. Oh, what can you do? Write a letter to the UN. I mean, all the shit that we're doing to other countries and to innocent people, and every one of these 87 people in Venezuela is by definition under U.S. law innocent because none of them have been found guilty in an American court or in any court. So the point is, these are innocent people. So you're killing 87 innocent people. I mean, we're just getting away with it because no one gives a shit about Venezuela and because we have lots of nuclear weapons and because we're big, mean bullies. But like, that day will not always be here. And then we're justifying that being done to ourselves.
Yeah. And then on 9/11, of course, it was like, oh my God, feel my pain. Feel my pain.
It's like they killed 3,000 of us. It's like, I'm sure the Vietnamese are crying.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure a lot of countries are crying. The kill squads in South America, I'm sure they're crying too.
Yeah.
This is to make this situation even worse, to make it even worse. So, when the Nazis in the Nuremberg trial would say, well, wait, we were following orders.
Mhm.
We were just following orders. We just did what we were told to do.
That was
And what were they?
and they had a better claim to that. That defense was a better defense for them because they had the Führer principle. It was enshrined in law that any order that came directly or indirectly from Hitler had the full force of German federal law and had to be obeyed without any questioning. We don't have that law here.
And what was the response? It doesn't matter. It
Yeah,
was
like
illegal.
you should have known better.
You should have known better. All right. So Admiral Halsey, I want to make sure I get his name right. Yeah, Halsey. This gentleman, this brother understood the difference between, hey, this doesn't feel legal to me, and took issue with what Hegseth was effectively doing and pointed out, like, look, man, these are illegal orders. I'm not comfortable with this. And Hegseth effectively was like, apparently there was a contentious meeting between the two, and Hegseth says, I want your resignation. Now, a TV personality, alcoholic, is effectively telling
Neo-Nazi.
this guy, yeah. And this Halsey, Naval's Aviation's badge, Naval Distinguished Service Medal, Defense Superior Service Medal, Legion of Merit with 4 award stars. Basically, all of these are awards that this gentleman got. And he's telling him, he's like, dude, this is not legal. He gets dismissed. Bradley apparently goes and does the illegal order on behalf of Hegseth. So the point that I'm trying to make here is, it wasn't like Hegseth wasn't told, hey, I know you're alcoholic and I know you're a TV personality, but this is not legal. This is not what the military is supposed to be doing.
Right.
He clearly knew because he was told by somebody who would know. And this guy decided,
an admiral knows this, right? And the law of the sea is super clear, although it's not the only thing that applies here, right? Like the same exact situation, like if you in terrestrial combat, if you capture enemy soldiers and they become, at the point where they surrender, they become your charge, and you have to take care of them and feed them and dress their wounds and and make sure nothing bad happens to them. You can't even photograph them. There's all sorts of rules. I mean, in the law of the sea even goes further than that. I mean, it's like we all know from World War II, like if a German U-boat went down and there were survivors, the survivors were all brought on board and treated and taken as prisoner. Same thing in the Pacific. If any Japanese sailors were captured, they were taken as prisoners, and you had to offer quarter. No quarter is a war crime. That's why there were a number of famous prosecutions of the Nazis executing downed American airmen in the European theater in World War II. And the commanding officers were executed for the German ones were executed for carrying out those massacres, right? I mean, so it is very clear anybody, and certainly any high-ranking officer, or for that matter, any member of the military knows this.
Will there be consequences to this? I mean, it seems, like I said, the double tap thing seems to be the issue.
Hegseth is nervous right now, right? I mean, if I'm Donald Trump, we know how Donald Trump is assessing the situation. Is Hegseth worth more to me in office or not? The pros and the cons are: if I fire him, do I look weak, or am I ridding? I mean, certainly I'm ridding myself of a pain in the ass, a person who's erratic and not really the right person for the job. Maybe he got me as far as he can go, and now I'm done with him. But whenever you have to fire someone for fucking up, you always look weak. But if I don't fire him, is this like a slow burning scandal? That's what he's weighing. Now, it's he's going to make sort of a intuitive decision, because that's what Trump does. By the way, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I think intuition is an underrated instinct. But he's going to decide that. That's going to happen if it happens today or tomorrow morning. It's going to happen after.
Do you think it's going to be that soon?
Time today, or if he survives the weekend, because you and I both know about the Friday afternoon media dump,
right?
So basically, that happens if Hegseth makes it, and he's still sec def by Sunday afternoon, he's safe for the time being. But he is a fuck up. I mean, the thing that makes me really feel like he's really up against the wall is because of the timing of the Inspector General's report about the signal stuff.
Signalgate, right?
That is like, that's coming out at the same time. And if I'm Donald Trump, I mean, so either that was released and timed in order to sort of, give him the 1-2 punch, the rope-a-dope, or it's like, or it's just a bad coincidence. But either way, it's like, oh yeah, this is this guy. This guy, he keeps fucking up. So, and I mean, it is Hegseth's responsibility. I mean,
Yes, it is.
whether he can try to pin it on the admiral all he wants, and even his response, Trump cares about the messaging. I mean, come on. The fog of war remark was really some piss poor tea, even for a modern American administration, when he's like, well, what do you want us to do? We couldn't see. Okay, so the thing is, dude, if you can't see, you're not allowed to fire. Okay, that's the rules. That's the rules of engagement, right? You're not allowed to fire. So,
and just for the audience,
could you see or could you not see?
Well, just so the audience will know, Hegseth pointed out, well, I only stayed for the first part. And he then said, well, it was a fog of war. So, I couldn't see. Now, that's not what's coming out of Congress. What's coming out of Congress was these were high resolution images where they had effectively magnified.
No fog, no clouds, clear day.
There was no fog. No, they were clearly clinging to their life.
Literally read the date on a penny. I mean,
yes.
Really. Mm-hmm.
Hegseth comes out and tries to throw it on Bradley. He tries to put it on Bradley.
Yeah,
and effectively says,
that's poor too. It's really poor.
Yeah. He says, let's make one thing clear. Admiral Mitch Bradley is an American hero, a true professional, has my 100% support. I stand by him, the combat decisions he has made on September 2nd mission and
Not
all
me.
other sets. Yeah, hey man, I'm standing by you by not standing by you. I'm throwing you under the bus.
Man. It was happy hour.
He says, America is fortunate to have such a man protecting us. When the Department of War says we have the back of our warriors, we mean it. As he does everything in his power to distance himself from Bradley's choice. He's effectively saying, hey, Bradley made this choice all on his own. I didn't have anything to do with this choice. Mm-hmm. Bradley decided to do that double tap. This had nothing to do with me, but I stand by Bradley nonetheless. That's what he's saying.
What a fucking disgusting weasel.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's even if, like, let's put this, I mean, let's just to put this in its proper color, right? If, let's just say Bradley had gone rogue and done this on his own, and then Hegseth came back and said, what the fuck did you do? He still should take the fall for it. It's still Hegseth's responsibility. That's military culture.
Or is it Trump's? I mean, Trump is the one who effectively, he said, hey, go out and murder people in boats.
Well, it is Trump's. I mean, of course it is. I mean, if you have this kind of insane policy, we just be blowing people up just because we can on the high seas. And then, I mean, this kind of thing is going to happen eventually, right? I mean, look, where did we get the term double tap? It's from the drone wars in Pakistan, in the northwest tribal areas, Baluchistan, all those places. And like where it was Waziristan. And like, I've been there. I know what it's like. And basically, what is a double tap strike? The double tap strike, and the Israelis love their double tap strike. So first you blow something up. Then all the first, concerned good Samaritans, passersby, and first responders, ambulance workers, doctors, nurses, they respond to try to help. And then, aren't we fucking clever and funny sitting in our trailer in the desert in Nevada? Then we hit them again. That's the double tap. And it's like, everyone agrees that even if the first attack is legal, the second attack is not legal. Like in trench warfare, it was illegal to kill the medic who went out to try to, help the fallen soldier. I mean, we know these things. We don't have to relearn them. And, I think part of the problem here, Jamal, is that, in our generation, very few Americans have served in the military or close to people who have. And so, I don't think this stuff could have happened in 55, when everyone was a veteran or knew a veteran. Everyone knew about war. They knew what it was. They knew the basic rules. Now nobody does. And so it's kind of like, there you are, like, I work at the auto shop. I'm a cartoonist. I'm a podcaster. I mean, and I think that's really seriously what's going on here. The level of disgust would be much higher. Like, like if I say, like, oh, I know this is true. I know a cartoonist who repeatedly traces his own old cartoons, or actually copies them, Xeroxes them, and then just changes the caption and sends it out like it's a new cartoon. And in cartooning, if you tell that to other cartoonists, they're like, oh my God, that's disgusting. Like, that person should be killed. It's like, but, you're like, you're not a cartoonist. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know any better.
That's
Right.
against the rules. That's wrong.
Yeah.
And like, so similarly, people used to know the military rules and they don't know them now.
Yeah, this is depraved. This is just so depraved. Ted, man, I thank you for this. Always appreciate you
Thank you,
joining me.
Jamal.
Great
Always so much
breakdown.
fun. Anytime.
Ted Rall, political cartoonist, syndicated columnist, co-host of TMI with the one and only Manila Chan. Also deprogrammed with John Kiriakou. Ted, you be safe. You have a fantastic rest of your day, man.
Have a good weekend. By the way, you might want to wipe your lens. You just got foggy.
Okay. I see. Oh, okay. Thank you for that.
All right, sure.
Have a good one, man. Be safe.
You too. Happy weekend.